Today's video is going to be a little different. I'm in the process of moving, so 100% of it will be filmed on my laptop. The background behind me is library, but let's hop right into the workflow. Today we're going to be automating your Gmail inbox. It could be for your personal, for your business, for employees, whatever will help organize and categorize your emails so that they're easier to sift through. Or you can also add workflows, I guess, tailored to the specific category that email is. So if it's somebody that's interested in your service, then we can go ahead and build out a proposal exactly from there, for example. So first step we're going to do is add a Gmail trigger on the message received. This will connect to your Gmail account. If you guys haven't set up your Google API credentials, I will have a video listed above. I just did a recent video on that. That is the easiest way that I've seen that's on YouTube. And so go ahead and click that and follow through, but I'm not going to walk through how to set those up. So this will be on the message received, right? So we can fetch a test, and then we need to, well, this is just the most recent email. So cool. This is from Spot On. And if we go to my email, we can see that that is from Spot On. So awesome. And now let's pin this data. And next, what we're going to do is get a text classifier. This text classifier is going to help AI. We're going to connect a GPT module down here. If you don't know how to set up an OpenAI API key, I have another video on that I will attach right there. Very simple. I think it's done in like 90 seconds. So what we're going to do is categorize the subject and the email body. Email body. For that, we can go, I believe it is right here, the subject. This will go above. And down on the email body, we're going to use the snippet. And then we can add all the categories that we need. So if you did see before, I've already got some that have been made. Got personal, any receipts or payments that go through, spam or junk, work. Let's go ahead and add one for prospects. And then we can change the color of that to be red. Okay, at least as of right now, I think that that's enough categories. Just go ahead and create the amount that you have to for your own personal situation, but we'll hop back into n8n and we're going to insert these exactly as they appear. So we'll go ahead and we'll write personal. And you can add a description for it if you want, like any email that is unrelated to work, but still important. Seems pretty personal. Next, we're going to go ahead and add prospects. Next, we can add receipts / payments. Then let's add our spam / junk. And then let's add a work. Sweet, so we got all of our categories set up. Let's go and attach a model for this. Like I said, we're going to be using OpenAI. So we have our Open API connection. Let's go and look for GPT-4o Mini, just because this is not that difficult of a task. So now we're going to run this. We got a text classifier for prospects. Now that's not coming back exactly how I want, so I'm going to say interested in an AI service. All right, so I just created another category for promotional because promotions is already built in. I'm going to make that one orange, and then we will connect this promotional down here. We're going to add a label to promotional. And now let's save it and execute the step. Sees our messages from Spot On. And now it has popped up as promotional. So every single email that's incoming and is orange is promotional, which is great. And we're basically going to do that for every single category. So I'm not going to walk you guys through every single step. However, what I will do is basically walk you through the first one to show you how to do the test data, and then you just rinse and repeat it for every single one. So we can unpin this save that. And then from a separate email on my phone, I'm going to email myself. So that's our new email. It is I'm looking to implement AI. We will go ahead and execute that. And that is a new prospect. So we can just leave this here, the data pinned, and we're going to add the exact same thing to it. Gmail, add a label, get the ID, and then this is now a prospect. So we'll execute that step. Sweet. Let's go back over here, and now we have a prospect. I'll probably build these out just to be different colors so they're not so similar between prospect and promotional, but you get the idea. Do the same thing for every single category, and I will see you guys once that's finished. All right, so all of our categories are set up, and this is what it's going to look like. It makes it really easy to read and also sift through. If you have, for example, it on all mail, it's going to go through and you would see spam and junk, like click the link for free millions, or receipts. The total is this amount. Personal, you free for coffee. It'll categorize everything. And then from there, based on what type of email it is, we can either draft a response or mark it as read. So if we hop back into n8n, what we're doing for promotional, and actually before we get into that, let's go ahead and switch all the labels for these just so we know where we're at and we can keep it a little bit more organized. These promotional ones, we're just going to mark them as red because that's all I really care to do with them anyway. Work, for example, we can go ahead and add a Gmail to, let's say, create us a draft. So before we create a draft, we're going to hop into OpenAI, message a model, then come down to this Gmail trigger where we can put in our snippet. So we'll say, craft a response for this email to be ready to send. We'll go like that. And then we will input our snippet. Then let's generate our response with 4.0 mini. And then we will create our draft. That has the subject and the email in it, but you know, it's a draft, so we're not actually going to send it out. If I had a little bit more time in the setting that I'm in, I wasn't moving, I can go ahead and build this out to output two different ones. So you just drag the subject and the message content, but this will do for now. Call this subject a draft, and then we'll go ahead and execute this. So if we were to go back into our email, we could see that we have a draft and everything's ready to be filled out. So it just said, I want to give you a quick update on the project at your restaurant. We're currently on track, making great strides. And then obviously if we built it out a little bit more, we could get more specific and have all these filled out with the recipient's name and their email in there, which is pretty cool, which would save you a tremendous amount of time. But we're not going to build that out like all the way for now. We'll just leave that as is. But that's kind of how the workflow, that's how I'm going to build it out anyway. When I get some time, get my Wi-Fi set up at my new place to be able to do this. Spam, we're going to do the same thing. We can just mark this as red. Go ahead and connect that. For bills and payments, we're going to go to an AI assistant, and we're going to have the chat input right there, chat model. Let's go use OpenAI. From here, the tool, what we're going to do is we're going to create a Sheets account that is going to categorize what is this billing or this payment, and then put it into spreadsheets so we can keep track of all of our expenses that we got or payments that we got coming in. So we'll go here, create a new spreadsheet. This will be billing. This will say category and amount. That's where it gets kind of tedious. We will have to send another email to be able to pin this data and put it in here so we can run it through, I guess, this flow. So we'll go over to our email and see if that came in. Cool. The amount for the computer is $1,100. Let's go ahead and execute that. Then we'll go down to the Gmail trigger and make sure that it's got the snippet to be able to analyze it. Require specific output formats and output parser. Let's just do a structured, and then we're going to do something like this. Category and amount. Now we have our two JSONs isolated. Now we will add our sheets. We're going to append or update a row. Choose billing from sheet 1. Map each column manually, and then map the category right here and the amount right there. Column to match on will be the category. So let's run this. And now we can see we have the category for what it is and the amount. Put this in dollars. And now we can track all of our bills and expenses or payments coming in. I'd probably build this out to 2 different spreadsheets in the future, but I just want to show you guys how to be able to do it. So great, that one is right there. Personal, I'm probably going to do the same thing as this and just create a draft, not to send it out quite yet, but just to have it ready. From here, this is going to be in a later video where I will basically do it start to finish. Like, you have a prospect that is emailing you interested in your service, and you can craft a proposal directly from that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one blank because this will be a little bit more careful. And I think this is a whole separate video in and of itself. But now you can see that we have our Gmail totally automated, looks pretty. I might change these colors as well. And then also these emails get stored right here. So like for receipts and payments, we got them both like that. And then it goes into our billing. So definitely some tweaks to be made, but the main point of the video is really just showing you how to connect the Gmail to be able to label all your incoming ones so that they're, I mean, it's also nice to look at, but really does help you categorize everything so that you can be a little bit more efficient, be on top of it. I would do this for my work email, my personal email, employees email, and everything. It just makes basically a Gmail assistant for you. So this will be the end for now. I'll be filming a video on how to do a proposal from start to finish directly from your email, very hands off, and have a draft ready and made. Just needs, I guess, a visual edit. I would want to visually see it before I send it out, at least until this is perfected. So drop a comment, like the video, let me know what else I should add to this workflow, and I will see you guys in the next one.